Hey, Kim of Kim in the Kitchen here, and we are preparing for Mild and Wild Meatloaf Week. Kind of like Shark Week, but it's all about meatloaf because we just harvested, I mean he just harvested an elk. We had 4 coolers full of meat that needed to be processed and ground, and so the kitchen takeover has been grinding a bunch of meat. And if you had seen an earlier video, when you have super lean wild game meat like that, when you're gonna make it into burgers and such, you need to add a little beef tallow. Gotta add a little fat so there's something to stick to it. However, I have asked and reserved some meat ground without any fat because we're gonna make it into meatloaf, no fat required, because we're gonna add some other things. But before we make the Mild and Wild harvest meatloaf, we're preparing. I thought about this because I was just gonna do it ad hoc. And I'm like, oh wait, no, I wanna play full out on this. So what I did while I went grocery shopping, you see this? So I've had this little, I don't know, maybe you have one of these too. Maybe someone gifted it to you. It might've been a wedding gift. I have no idea how I got it. I don't remember purchasing this, but somehow it is in my possession. And I don't use it very often. However, when I do, it's incredible. It's one of those like, why don't I do that more often? Well, often when we're like really busy, right? And time is an obstacle and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of opportunities. Like, oh my God, it's gonna take me 20 minutes to do this 1-minute thing. Who's got that 21? So right now I was able to find a few minutes. So I actually just took a bowl, stainless steel bowl, and I let this sit. And the reason for that is the terracotta is going to absorb the water. So when you put in either an onion or a clove of garlic, it will then have that moisture to keep it from burning, and it will it'll be the most amazing garlic ever. All right, so that's what I wanted to present first. Is this is getting ready, and now we have, now we have what's in the bag, our grocery haul. So I went to one of my favorite local natural grocery stores, and I don't know if I've seen a few things on social, like saving the jam. Like this is one, I think it's probably on something on TikTok, but where you keep the leftover jam jar and you don't clean it up. You actually put like vodka and soda in there and then use that leftover jam to make a little sweetener in that same style. And I can appreciate that as someone who's been a bartender. Professional, not just for a hobby. So I have 2 jars. Oh, no, can't. The phone is charging. Let me get, I have 2 jars of pickle juice that I've been saving. So when I went to my favorite little store, I asked Joe, who is my favorite ultimate go-to produce consultant. Like, Joe, I'm gonna pickle some carrots. What do you recommend? Now they have 4 different kinds of carrots there. And this is not to be bougie or withhold or anything like that, but they have, like, for people that go there and they want a juice, right? They have the big bag of juicing carrots. Then they have the little carrots, right? They don't grow baby carrots. Those are big carrots cut to size, right? Did you ever see the cartoon where they took that tree and whittled it down into a toothpick? It's like that. Be careful on that. So depending on the brand, when you flip that bag of baby carrots over, if there's a nutrition label, right? The kind that you see that has like calories, it's because they've been soaking in sugar so they don't dry out. Not to be a spoiler, however, if you or someone you know is like looking to watch their sugar, that is a secret thing. Now, some people may say carrots are also sugary, and yes, they are, but they're more sugary when they're soaked in sugar. Fair enough? Okay. So then there are carrots that are cut, and they're carrots with a stem. So here's what were the considerations. I told Joe what I was gonna do. So I have this leftover kosher pickle juice. I want to home pickle some carrots because it's going to be amazing. I'm going to throw in a little bit of onion as well. And I said, what are the best ones to use? So he was telling me, well, these ones here, right? These ones are great. They're from California. They're not as sweet because they pick them early so they last longer. These other ones that were cut that did not have their stem, those were local, they're a little bit more sweet, right? Because they're good, their turnaround time. Or on the other shelf on the other side were these babies. And I said, well, ultimately, like, it's not like which is best, right? Because I don't think one's better than the other. Like, what's your application for it? For me, it's the freshest. And what Joe told me long time ago, in the early days of Kim in the Kitchen, when I was actually teaching classes there, which I might do that again. If they have the stem, right, this just is, if you can get these, this is my ideal choice. So these are going to be my home pickling in a kosher pickle jar, pickling carrots. And just like tomatoes on the vine are, I don't want to say better, but I'm going to say better. It's just a different taste, right? They last longer, so you get much more longevity when you have the stems on them. Okay, so I'm so excited for pickling carrots. I haven't decided. I have 2 jars, so I think I'm going to do one in spears, and now I can chop them up and add them into things, like a relish plate. The other one, I think I'm going to do in little chips, right? So there's that. Happy haw. What else is in the bag? Oh, this one, it reminded me, it looked like a duck. So, and it's a Japanese purple sweet potato. I was like, I looked at it and I just had to have it kind of look like a little swan. But also because it kind of looks like a duck, kind of like a swan, it's still a bird. In this household, spoiler alert, my husband's a hunter, the dog's a hunter. We are actively hunting and harvesting. That's how we do. And this reminded me of a duck. And because bird season starts in about 6 weeks. So we're gonna have a great trip to North Dakota and fill the freezer full of fresh pheasant and duck and what are they called? Sharp-tailed grouse and other things like that. And sweet potatoes are a great source of protein and fiber. And I love that it's purple, makes me happy. All right, we got our onions, a nice little haul, these ones. Good onions, that's gonna be for the pickles and for the Mild Wild Meatloaf harvest. Then we got cloves of garlic. That is gonna go great in our terracotta cut, because we're gonna have roasted garlic. Now, I think Wyatt and I, we did a whole air fryer roasted garlic dinner jam. Like we had 4 different things, 4 different flavors, right? Whether you put it in butter, if you use bacon fat, if you use olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic, all the different things. Garlic on garlic is a thing. What else do we get? Ooh, okay. So as some of you might know, this has been the summer, we had the Adios appendix party, and we are now post-op appendix, so we've had our appendix farewell. However, we were also on antibiotics for a really long time, like 3 months. So we are utilizing kefir, and we are utilizing whole probiotic yogurt to help with the whole gut environment. Not only that, but it's also good for puppy, because in this house, we also make all of our own dog food. So the dog food comes from often what my husband hunts, but it's everything that we eat, right? He eats chicken, we eat chicken. He eats salmon, he gets salmon. Okay, the sardines, I'm not so fond of, but this is good for people and puppy. That's a good rule of thumb. Okay, when I first got into the produce section, I also asked, like, hey Joe, like, what's the best fresh thing you got going on? First thing he said was peaches. Now, this was an interesting distinction. So, of course, if Joe says it, I'm easily swayed. But these yellow peaches are very fragile, but the difference is these are tree ripened. So I'm really curious to see how these taste versus like my memory of what a peach would taste like. But these are tree ripened, and they are plucked 2 days before they're shipped. So I would imagine this is as close as I'm ever going to get to having a peach tree, which I don't have. but these are gonna let me do that. And then this is a white peach. I got one. So this is one for the husband, one for me, one for us to split because I'll probably go back and get more. Next, a fun find. Ooh, I haven't tried this yet. So at the deli counter, Joe's wife works in the deli counter. She's amazing, lovely lady, full of joy. And, but I saw this Yellowbird. What got me is it's agave sriracha. I love a good sriracha sauce. And I don't know about you, but anyone else notice, like when you were a little kid, you didn't like hot stuff, and then as you get older, maybe it's perimenopause, whatever, hot sauce was calling me, and I like hold it, feel it, touch it, squeeze it, and went, oh yeah, this is coming home. So this is Yellowbird Blue Agave Sriracha. Oh, that is gonna go great on the Mild Wild Harvest Meatloaf. We had the kids over for dinner the other day, and we started grinding our own spices. So we were out of peppercorns, so more peppercorns to grind. So that way, what I get to do is invite my son over because now he has the mortar and pestle. Even though I got cloves of garlic for oven roasted garlic deliciousness, garlic granules. I like garlic granules better than garlic salt for sure, so that I can control the sodium, as well as kind of prefer to have my own salt and like distinguish how much I want in there, right? It's not to be controlling, well, I guess it is to control. It's to drive the taste. So garlic granules versus garlic powder. I like these again because you can better determine where they go and how they go. Powder often also is, it gets in the air. I don't know, it's wanted in the air. Favorite is they have a bin for making your own almond butter. So it's already dry roasted, and I go through about one of these every 2 weeks. Healthy source of fat. Oh, the second thing Joe talked about was these melons. So these melons are from Oregon. I'm in Washington, so local-ish, and he handpicked this one. So I'm like, all right, what are you looking for, right? Because I'm sure you've all seen the posts like how to pick a watermelon, you know, whether or not it has the stripes, if it's oblong versus round, what that means for flavor, and you know, where is the set point. So right here, this little area here, this is where, right, it's set where it grew on the ground. And it will be the first place as it gets more ripe, and obviously now it's not connected to the ground anymore. That's that first area that's gonna get mushy. But he said the peaches and the melon, and hubby loves melon, so I'm gonna get that. Last but not least, Mama wanted some chocolate, so I thought I would try this one. It says not just good, but beyond good. 85% cocoa, sea salt, and why did I choose this one? Cocoa beans, cane sugar, cocoa butter, and fleur de sel. I was really curious about, like, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Someone correct me. Fleur, French, F-L-E-U-R. I'm guessing that's flower. De means of. Sel, flower of the sun. I know sol would be maybe flower of the sun. Anyway, we're gonna try it. And it's kind of nice when you see that, like, it contributes to like the environment in a good way. Produced in Madagascar. Oh, I didn't see that. Anyway, so that's our haul. So this is the pre-haul before we make the Maniac Mild Wild Meatloaf Week with fresh ground elk. All right, bye for now. Make a note in the comments. Do you pickle your carrots? Have you like taken on that? Are you making things with cottage cheese? Like, what do you want to see next? What do you want to taste? And be on the lookout. Next week, we might actually formally have our post-op appendix party.